All right, so we're talking about episode 6 of Daredevil Born again, season 2, still a mouthful. And yeah, this is the episode where everything completely falls apart. We're talking about Fisk losing control. Matt is hitting a moral wall, and Mother herself, Jessica Jones, shows up. And the entire city is basically descending into chaos. This isn't just another chapter. It's the moment the story goes from tension to full-on war. Let's break it down. So we have to start with Wilson Fisk. After Vanessa's death, Fisk is not the same person anymore. And this episode makes that very clear immediately. There's a scene where a doctor tries to confront him right after she dies, and he just grabs him and just squeezes him, and he fucking bursts like a starburst. And yeah, Fisk just kills him right then and there, right in the hospital. That moment tells you everything. He's no longer the calm and calculating Kingpin. We're now dealing with someone driven purely by grief and rage. And because of that, his strategy changes too. Instead of controlling this city quietly, he starts escalating. He expands the anti-vigilante task force, arming them with more heavy weapons, basically preparing for open conflict. Fisk is not playing chess anymore, he's flipping the board. Next, we get to one of the biggest moments of the episode, Matt confronting Fisk. Matt proposes something kind of wild. He suggests that both of them just leave New York. No more fighting, no more cycle of violence. And honestly, it's desperate, but it shows kind of how stuck Matt is right now in dealing with Fisk. Of course, Fisk refuses, and we get a brutal but fucking awesome fight scene between the two. Now, physically, Matt wins, but morally, he loses. Because once again, he doesn't kill Fisk, he doesn't stop him permanently, and that's really the core of Matt's arc right now. He's trying to exist in this middle space between hero and vigilante, and it's just not working anymore. This episode basically asks, how long can Daredevil keep doing this before something breaks? And then, huge moment. Jessica Jones is back. Mother has returned to us. She comes in swinging, like literally, and quickly becomes a major part of the episode. We learn a couple of really important things about what's been going on with Jess right off the rip. She's being targeted by someone named Mr. Charles, who we know, who is played by Matthew Lillard, and she has a daughter now who also has powers. That's a massive development for the wider MCU side of things. So we see initially that the government, led by Mr. Charles, sends people to her house and attacks her. We don't actually see a lot of the fighting. It's just kind of the kid in the house grabs like a fucking grenade that was thrown in through a window, and we just see Jess outside kind of beating the shit out of him, and then she just kind of comes up and takes it from the daughter. And it's really funny, really good moment, and a really good introduction to bring her back into the fold. Really awesome. So she teams up with Daredevil, and together they take down an AVTF operation. But there's a twist. Her powers kind of start to fail mid-fight, which is a big deal because Jessica has always been one of the more physically reliable heroes. So seeing that instability suggests something bigger is going on. This could be setting up something larger, like a enhanced human storyline, or even future team up beyond Daredevil. It could be because she had a daughter. We don't really know what the root cause is yet, but you know, it sets up something fun. Meanwhile, Karen Page might have one of the boldest moves in the entire episode. She publicly exposes Fisk. She projects evidence of his crimes onto City Hall, basically forcing the truth out into the spotlight. Now, this is, of course, in reference to the SD card that we got to BB in the last episode. Yeah. Which is all the testimonials from people who have been dealing with the task force and who were captured in the cages that they freed. It's all their testimony, and then they put it on where Fisk can't hide it anymore. And it works. The public reacts immediately. Protests start to break out. Tensions are rising, and suddenly this isn't just like a hidden war in the shadows, or you know what I mean, like out of the city cameras. It's right out in the open. But of course, that puts Karen directly in danger, which at this point, who is even fucking surprised? By the end of the episode, she's confronted by a corrupt officer who has like the smuggest face that I want to absolutely fucking punch from the AVTF, and things aren't looking good for her. And this is what episode 6 is really all about. Everything collapsing at once. The system, corrupt law enforcement controlled by Fisk, the streets in chaos, Matt out of options. Even the side plots reflect this. We see internal conflicts growing between allies, new power players like Mr. Charles emerging, and multiple characters starting to unravel emotionally. By the time we reach the end, Matt hasn't stopped Fisk. Karen is in immediate danger. The AVTF is fully weaponized, and now Jessica is pulled into the conflict. There's no going back at this point. This episode is the turning point that starts to set up the end game for this season. So now the big question is, what is Matt willing to do next? Because if he doesn't change something, Fisk is going to win. If you enjoyed this breakdown, stick around. I'll be covering episode 7 next, and trust me, it gets even darker.